You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Charge Hayner represent Zoom the TBT, and we're here with the Dubois Dream GM, Albert Varacallo. Albert, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Good to be on the show with you guys.
Very excited to have you. So we've always wondered, Charge and I, and Charge, you can really ask the question, but what are we wondering about the buy teams? First of all, let's get into that. Well, let's confirm this first. Albert, you guys are in. You have bought your seed, right? You're in.
Correct. Yes.
So Vince, what's the question here?
What in the world are you thinking, Albert?
That's a legitimate question there.
Everyone in the TBT community knows there's a pretty large price tag on these buy teams. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think first off, you have to be a little crazy to buy in, and that's what I consider myself, just a little bit crazy. But also, I mean, TBT has been a huge part of like our Dubois Dream organization since 2016. So we're just looking to guarantee our way back in, and I didn't want to mess around this time. And we have some good backers, some good supporters in our community. So thought we'd make it happen, make one more push here.
So Albert, you've been this before, but talk to me a little about what is the Dubois Dream doing now? Like, I know you guys have played different leagues now. Is part of this a chance to market yourself to different leagues?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that what TBT offers is pretty impressive just overall on the national scale. And that's what I'm kind of going back to, even why we want to guarantee our way in and make this, it's really an investment. So if you can invest and get this national marketing, it goes a long way. So not only are we, a minor league semi-pro team and looking to market ourselves that way, but also we do a lot with our youth basketball and AAU youth basketball in our community. And we continue to grow on that level. But we also are trying to take that next step. And TBT is always in the back of my mind of how you take that next step and get to that next level. So, decided to take that step this year and seemed like the right time. And, it came at a cost, but I think it'll be worth it.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Dubois Dream is no stranger to the TBT, and your guys' history went all the way back to 2016, and you faced the City of Gods in the first round, who ended up being a Final Four team. Yep. 2017, you faced, where's my notes? Was it Boeheim's? Yeah, I'm gonna say, I got chicken scratch here. Boeheim's Army, and they were a Final Four team, and so. Yep. When you think about a buy-in team, you're going to be facing these kind of top seeds as it is. But the real big fun fact for our kind of little lane that we own in the TBT community is in 2018, it was Dubois Dream versus the Kimchi Express. So the battle of the zero-win TBT teams, and a lot of respect for your squad, and we got some great relationships with Kimchi. So that's kind of been your team history with TBT. So how does those experiences kind of prepare you for what to expect in as a buy-in team facing probably one of the best teams in the TBT this year?
Yeah, so we started garnering some respect at our first year when we got all the votes to get in against City of Gods. I believe they were the number one overall seed too, so that would have made us the last seed in TBT. But it was a close game the entire time, and I think we gave, like, after the game, they gave us their respect, and it was, we're just from a small town and battling some of those former NBA draft picks, so it was a cool experience there. Like that got me hooked on TBT at that point. Then the following year, Boeheim's Army, it was a terrible matchup for us. They blew us away. They came out of the gate just on fire. They had their fans there. That was eye-opening experience too. Then Kimchi, as you brought up, man, that one hurt the most. That one definitely hurt the most. They were a really good team. We both were kind of thin as far as our rosters go. I decided to make the jump to, hey, can we do something out west after we had those two previous experiences? Can we try and go out to the West Coast? Cool experience out in LA, but just didn't go our way. We ran out of firepower. They had a really good team. We had some good guys, like Cam Forte, I believe, went for like 40 and 20 for us. Just wasn't enough. Didn't hit enough shots, but that was definitely the one that hurt the most. But TBT has just kind of been at our core, and that experience really took me a long way. Where I remember back in 2018 and kind of building up a team, it was like a lot of times you just go for the top talent. You really need that team chemistry. You need team chemistry. You need gritty guys that are willing to dive on the floor, take a charge. Because I call TBT basically a high school game for pros. And if you can really make those plays, 1-2 possessions with the Elam ending, it can go your way. So that's kind of our focus this year. So really trying to learn off of that and get those type of guys that are willing to do the little things.
Okay, so you've taken a pile of $20,000 and burned it, obviously. So now you're in. So how is it helping your recruiting? First of all, I know like being from a small town, obviously, and having a program you already have, like, has it helped you recruiting to line up your roster, knowing you are in? You're not having to beg for your spot. Like, has the lack of doubt helped you fill out your roster?
Yes and no. Because again, we could probably take on whoever we wanted as far as like just the player, but now we're trying to fill in like what's the type of player we really want, because this isn't just about playing in TBT. We have kind of a timeline we're going leading up to TBT as well. Kids camps, training camp, all that stuff. Like, you need to be involved in the community too here. Because like I said, it is an investment. We're trying to give back to our area as well. So yes, it has helped us, but we're still being a little pickier than we have in the past. Like at one point we're getting the votes and, hey, can anyone help us get votes? That's who's kind of on the team. Now it's like I said, we're really looking for a certain type of player now. And I know you can't be too picky because TBT, you need that balance of, you give some leeway for kind of the guys that can really go and get their own bucket. But then also you need those guys who are just really reliable, because last thing you want, and that's what we faced a little bit in Los Angeles, was you didn't get everyone on your roster, and that you can have the best roster in the world, but if they don't show up, it doesn't matter to you. So
yeah, sometimes there's always some people missing.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to have a little, we call them radar guys now. You got to have some guys on the radar that you can add somewhat last minute, and they got to be reliable in there.
Yeah, you mentioned small town a couple of times in there, and working with the community. So just first, my fun fact about Dubois, Pennsylvania. I was educated Hayner in this last week. Is just outside of Punxsutawney, PA. So if you ever wanted to see the groundhog, he hangs out in the library in a little window in the off season. So when I was a district manager for Blockbuster, I used to have to go all the way out to Dubois to check on the site there and drive through Punxsutawney. So that's an
amazing fun fact right there. Blockbuster and the weather capital of the world.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. But you mentioned, working with the community, and as I was thinking about this buy-in thing, I'm like, it sounds kind of crazy, but the thing you got to remember is, TBT does help support the teams with their package and the marketing and being able to get on ESPN. And so I'm like, well, that's really not a far fetch. You can get your 20,000 back pretty quickly with the tight knit community. But then I also thought about just the community, how cool it would be for kids from little tiny Dubois, Pennsylvania, to see Albert draining threes on ESPN. So did that lead to the motivation a little bit to put this team in here? You mentioned the community.
Yeah, you're spot on, because it's funny, no one really talks about Dubois as a basketball town even in our area. So when I started the Dream back, it's been 6-7 years now. The reason I kind of attached Dream to it, not only because it's DD type thing, it kind of flowed, and it was a dream of mine to kind of let the kids dream a little bit here. And now with our youth program, we've added kids going to college now, kind of cycling back through. And it's cool to see like this small town, big dream type thing. And that's what we really tried to play off of. So, it's funny, just that investment, if you really break it down into smaller steps, you can chip away at it, because we don't have like, the big numbers here, the big, population, the star-studded people here. You mentioned the ground. Punxsutawney Phil is probably
that's the best you got to do, boys.
That's not even Dubois necessarily, but it is the area. Really, we're representing our area is what it comes down to. And if you chip it away little by little, I want to actually provide a platform even for our small community and some of the businesses and hardworking people in our area, because they don't always get that attention. Another cool thing we have going on here is the Small College World Series currently, and our Penn State Dubois branch actually does really well in that too. So we're really kind of building something up here, and it's been beneficial. So I'm hoping to add to that.
I'm looking 7,500 people approximately is the Sadia, which I think is about the same.
An overestimate too.
I think that's the same number of people that live on my block in Brooklyn, by the way. I'm
probably
sure it's about the same number of people. I'm looking. You have a Dubois Best Western. You have a oral facial implant surgery, a Tractor Supply. Lots of stuff going on there. This is very, very cool.
We have a sheet too. Yeah.
What's up?
We have like 3 or 4 sheets as well. That's our.
Sheets.
Big. Yeah, if you got a sheets, Yeah,
No,
this
is
isn't small town
Sheets or
anymore.
Wawa? It's Western Pennsylvania, so it's Sheets, right? Not Wawa there.
Yeah,
Sheets
we're
is way
Sheets.
better
Yeah.
than- yeah, way
Okay,
better.
that's like a holy war. That's like Shiite Sunni
Yeah,
Muslims. It's just
yeah.
like they're just going to shoot each other. It's just-
Go with
Yeah.
Sheets.
yeah. Anyway, that's pretty crazy. Okay, so you got 3 sheets. That is big thing. Get into the bracket real quick. This is a very alumni heavy region, and also I don't know if you saw Charge on Twitter. We moved TNT out of this region, and Terry literally moved us, the GM of TNT, and said, "Move us back." I'm like, okay, whatever. So
He probably has enough clout to call a shot and stay in Dayton by now, but it's a brutal bracket. Go ahead, Ader.
I mean, it's funny. Well, this is what I'm getting to. So just alumni teams going to have bracket only, not including what's left of Loco Showtime with Whopper. Our current bracket, which again, we're going to see, doesn't even have TNT in it. Of the 8 teams there, you and Sideline, we had you guys playing each other because you have the history of Sideline, which we'll get to in a minute, but 6 other alumni teams. So like, is it exciting for you guys knowing whoever you play is going to have a really big fan base? Is that going to help you hype up your team?
Yeah, and it's funny. We have a pretty big fan base as well. Like it's not at that level, obviously, with the alumni teams, but we have people that are willing to travel and watch us play. But it is exciting to kind of go up against those bigger colleges, universities, alumni teams, because it's like in our area, that's everyone that that are recognizable. For Dubois, you have to travel to these big universities. Like if Happy Valley's in there, like everyone loves Penn State from our area. Like that's a cool little matchup there. Pitt, you got a bunch of people that love going to the Pitt games, Pitt football, Pitt basketball, all that. West Virginia, people love West Virginia. It's just people are looking for something to root for in Dubois, and they usually go to those universities or the professional sports in the bigger areas. And now it's kind of funny to see, like, if our Dubois Dream team plays against one of those bigger ones they usually root for, I think they'll probably walk away and be like, hey, this is a win-win. We can root for both of them.
Yeah, and you mentioned, or Hayner mentioned about Sideline Cancer. So
Yeah.
you actually got the chance to suit up with Sideline Cancer last year. So I think that'd be an intriguing matchup if you guys do get to play, because obviously you're the GM of the Dubois Dream, and you're actually a player too. I mentioned you draining some threes earlier.
Yeah.
The first 2 years, you averaged like 5.5 3-point made per game. So, I mean, pretty impressive, but that'd be a great time. But tell me about your experience with Sideline Cancer. I know I'll let you speak to it, but meant a lot to you. I actually got very attached to Sideline Cancer early on at TBT. My mom passed away from pancreatic cancer about 4 years ago.
Oh.
And so for you to, have the honor of sitting on the sideline and everything that they mean to the folks and champion for pancreatic cancer, how special of a moment was that for you?
I thought there was some type of connection between us right here, Charge, because it's like, with me, it was my mom was diagnosed, not this past, the one before March of, 2022. Unfortunately, she had passed then. It's a deadly disease, and Sideline Cancer is an easy team to root for just because of what they represent. So it meant a lot for me after that experience and just seeing how ugly pancreatic cancer is to team up with them. I have nothing but good things to say about Sideline Cancer. Like, we have a great relationship. We had a great relationship even prior to all that. Like, before any of that even happened, we did a charity game in Dubois to raise some funds for pancreatic cancer before my mom even had a diagnosis. That was a good 5 years even before that. So it's weird how life kind of cycled back around. It was an honor to play for them and kind of have my mom attached to it. Now it'd be interesting to see it cycle back around if we do match up in the first round. Just with my experience with them prior to all this, suiting up for them last year, like we just even text back and forth now, me and Jordan Griffith and the Griffith family. Like I love that group right there. I love them. They just really mean a lot to not only me and everybody else that's gone through something like that, but they just play for something bigger. But that's also what the Dubois Dream represents. So that's why it'd be cool to just have a bigger than basketball type game on that national stage, and hopefully just bring some more awareness, not only pancreatic cancer, but just, a bunch of different causes too. So it definitely it touches me to my core at that one. But yeah, Sideline Cancer, they're awesome. And I was honored to be a part of them last year. And it's all love with me and them moving forward too, no matter what happens. So we're going to collaborate some more.
Yeah, that'd be great. And obviously, once you take the court, though, the Marcus Keens of the world, you're gonna have to take care of business. So we'll set the friendship aside for a few minutes and go at it. But we had talked previously about the minor league teams too, because I grew up small town Western New York, and I saw that you guys were playing teams like the Chautauqua Hurricanes, and Jerome Moss used to be my a resident assistant.
You're just making these smaller cities up, aren't you?
Yeah, so
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
I was totally nerding out on minor league basketball the one day and started going down this rabbit hole with Dubois and the Chautauqua Hurricanes, and I was like, "Holy cow, this guy used to be so mean. You didn't want to get out of line at Hendricks Hall, or you're gonna get face to Rome." So we just chilled with him. He's a good guy.
That's amazing. I didn't know you had that previous experience too. Yeah, Jerome, you ended up being a coach of the year in that minor league in the PBL at one point too. So yeah, we've traveled to Chautauqua, Rochester, all those, Jamestown, New York. We've played a lot of those, and the minor league has gone really well, but kind of looking to go a different direction now, possibly. And we'll see where this take us. And I figured I'd get back to our core, which was TBT. So that's why the Dubois Dream's back in it, and wanted to guarantee our spot, wanted to be a part of it. And I don't think I'm going to regret this experience at all. That's kind of what I've gone as, like, am I going to regret being a part of TBT again with the Dubois Dream? And the answer was no every time I kept going back to it. So now we have our guaranteed spot. Looking forward to seeing our matchup. Now it's putting together that right group together that represents Dubois, but also can kind of have some grittiness, small town feel to it, and see if we can come away with that win.
I do like the fact that we talk a lot about motivation, why teams do things. Sideline's obvious, a lot of the alumni teams. But I am really fascinated because you do say, like, what's next for your team, not just representing your town, but also, like, what kind of leagues would the Dubois Dream fit into for a next step? Like, are there leagues you're looking at, or are there things you're trying to get into?
Yeah, I always said when we first started, like, I'd love to have I feel like there should be a third division in the US. Like, they have those all over in Europe. I don't really get that, but you need to be attached to the NBA to really succeed, or else you're just throwing money away as it is anyways. So I'd always say, I want to be attached with the G League or the NBA. That was a big thing. Right now, the TBL, the basketball league, it does a really good job. And I have a relationship with, David Magley over there. We've talked quite a bit, and, we actually kind of threw some things around of possibly being a part of it this year. It was a little too much. I told myself I'd give myself a year after my mom's, diagnosis and unfortunate passing. So I needed to take care of that business. Now I'm kind of like, I'm the type of person that needs something to look forward to. So TBT was that next thing. We have our AAU youth basketball. I was like, well, let me give them something to look forward to with TBT and myself. And then I'm kind of an open book, but I know it'll end up piecing together. It always does for some reason. I keep this thing going, but I really want to go to that next level. And TBT is that first opportunity that I'm seeing to go to that next level on a national stage. And I think it's going to go well. And like I said, I don't think we're going to regret this investment and, experience with TBT again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see you regretting either, because obviously different people have different motivations, and I really love the fact you guys are trying to build a name for your small town. I think that's a really admirable thing to do. So I think it's great. Albert, it's been a pleasure having you on. We really appreciate your time tonight. Swing by anytime. We're definitely there is a scenario which one of us ends up in West Virginia at some point, so we'll see what happens. Maybe we can come see a game. We'll see what happens as the travel plans get up. But Albert,
you're going to go to Dayton though.
What's that?
You're going to Dayton though, aren't you? You're buying in Dayton or West Virginia?
We're in West Virginia now. West Virginia was our first one. They kind of fit Yeah, we got to get that updated on the TBT website. But yeah,
all right. I'm like, wait a second. Hayner actually got something right. That's pretty impressive.
It's rare. I almost never get anything right.
What's he talking about? I better check with Albert and make sure he's not off base.
Yeah, we're locked into Wheeling, West Virginia now. And if you guys do show up, make sure you let me know. I'll have a Dubois Dream shirt for you.
There we go.
We can be bribed. We can
definitely be bribed. Bribing. We are basically very easy to bribe. Okay, so hey, Albert, again, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate your time. This has been Albert Varacallo with the Dubois Dream. I got them both right. That's a rarity on Charge and 100% ZoomTheTBT. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
Thanks.
Have a good night, fellas.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.